Traveling is the simplest and quickest way to improve yourself. I'm saying this because when you travel to a new country, you see that those people that you meet there can be quite interesting, and they may have different ideas, a different religion, or a different culture compared to your own belief system. Because some people say, and I partly believe this, that we are a product of our environment, which means many ideas or many beliefs that we have developed are coming basically from our culture, from our parents, or from our own religion. So by interacting with people from another country, then you find yourself that those beliefs may not apply there in that society. So by doing this, you can quickly question your own belief system and try to improve it. Try to improve it so you can create your own personality based on what you think is wrong and right, not based on what your parents told you 10, 20 years ago. So if you can travel young, that's gonna be amazing, because when you go back to your country, you may have your own belief system and you can create your own life based on those new ideas. And saying about ideas, I would like to give an example. Let's say you travel to Singapore and you see people running and jogging, waking up early, being really fit, and you really admire that. Going back to your country, you can implement this. You can start waking up early in the morning. You can start working out early, running around, and that can be quite beneficial, even if in your specific city no one does this. So this is how getting exposed to ideas of a new country, this is how it really changes you, and it can improve you. Additionally, I would like to talk about, you may have the opportunity to get some new business ideas. So for example, I traveled to China a couple of months ago, and it was a shock for me that I was in a highway, like a really busy road, and everything was so quiet. No noise at all from the diesel engine, because 95% or more of the cars in China are electric, which means that that's gonna be the future. So that's gonna be the future in Europe or in USA. In a couple of years, everyone is going to transition to electric cars. So if you are into this business, you can take advantage of it and start thinking some new business ideas. Also, another example that comes to my mind, the cuisine is quite nice, especially in Asia. So you may find a really nice dish that you really like it, but there's not supply in your own country, and you know that your own people are gonna love it. So you may create a new dish, a new restaurant offering that dish or that cuisine. So the opportunities are so many that you just have to have an open mind when you are visiting a new country. And at this point, I would like to say, when you visit that country, a country in Asia, for example, Philippines, it's quite important to try to live like a local, because this is where the real change is gonna happen. If you just visit this country and going around with your luxury car, staying in really expensive hotels, not interacting with locals, and just seeing some really nice mountains and the jungle. Yeah, it's good, it's nice, but you will not get the full experience of it and the full advantage of visiting a new country. And talking about nature and mountains and everything else, I think it's really important to visit some countries that are not that developed. They're characterized as developing countries, and by visiting those countries, you can see how simple people are. The only thing that they need is basically food and shelter, because in our own world, we're just thinking that we need a better car, we need a better house, we need a better mobile phone. But those people, the only thing that they need is just food and shelter, and they're absolutely happy with this. So I think we just need to be satisfied with and appreciate those things that we already have. That's quite important. For me, I got this understanding as I was traveling more and more, and I really started to appreciate what I already have. And in terms of nature, I think by visiting, let's say, some wild places like Tanzania, doing safari there, you can see that people are part of a larger ecosystem. Because most of us live in cities, and those cities are man-made basically. So we have created our own buildings, we have created our own roads, cafes, cinemas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and the only thing we do, we just go to the supermarket, we get our meat without understanding where it comes from. But in reality, nature can be quite cruel. For example, in this safari in Tanzania, you could see those animals, those lions basically, hunting down antelopes or zebras. And it's not for sensitive people, I would say. It's quite cruel. And this is our nature. And I was really excited by visiting the Tanzania, because firstly it was a dream that came true. I used to watch countless documentaries on wildlife and wild animals. So when I went there, it was really spectacular. It was like watching live the National Geographic documentaries. But apart of this, it made me realize that trying to preserve the ecosystem, the natural ecosystem, is our obligation. Because this is how it was in the past, and this is how our planet has been evolved, and this is how our planet has survived. Imagine having a planet without wild animals, or without other animals, or without any trees. We as humans are not going to survive. So it has a really great impact, not only on our current generation, but also on the future generations. And I think it's our obligation to try to preserve this ecosystem, this natural ecosystem. And by visiting those countries, I think most of us are going to understand this. And also, another one part I would like to talk about nature is that it's so peaceful, because we humans have been involved in natural habitats. So by sleeping in the middle of a forest, or in the middle of a jungle, or in a tent in the middle of the park, the wildlife park, it's quite spectacular. And also you think that you are just part of this ecosystem. So to sum up, I think traveling is quite important to improve yourself and to understand that you are part not only of a country, but you are a citizen of the world. And our obligation is to make our best to improve ourselves and also improve the world that we live in. Thanks for watching.